So this week I'm going to dive into a question that I got from one of our customers, potential customers. And they said, Andy, I'm convinced AI is needed inside our business. I don't know whether I should build our own solution, whether we should buy a solution, or whether we should hire an AI automation agency, aka partner, to help us implement AI inside our business. So I want to dive into that topic today because it's an interesting one for entrepreneurs, business owners, leaders who are evaluating all these new school tools. Inside our venture studio, we're looking at AI automation technology implementation across our entire portfolio of businesses. We had a ton of success years ago with machine learning, enabling one of our product companies, a SaaS company, to eliminate the need for human interaction in a pretty complicated, unsafe scenario in the mining industry. And so now we're doing that consistently across our portfolio, and Unisupport does that as an AI automation agency. But I want to talk today specifically about when you should build your own, buy your own, or work with a partner, because I think it's a great question. So if we haven't met, my name is Andy Smith. I'm a longtime entrepreneur, been building businesses since 2007 when I launched my first one. Had a couple exits, had a couple failures, learned a lot along the way. Every day is a continual process to get better, to learn, to grow. And my channel here is just to share that with you. And I'm not always good at it, but we're going to keep trying. So let's dive in. So first, let's talk about building your own solution. So when you're building your AI solution, you're going to need a few things. You're going to need a team of people inside your business. So you're going to need folks who are AI programmers. You're going to need machine learning engineers. You're going to need project managers. You're going to need support staff. So you're going to need a whole team. And the struggle with some of this is keeping your team motivated, aligned, and it's very costly. Hiring AI engineers right now is just stupid pricey because there's such high demand. They're so needed. Everyone's doing it. Everyone's building out data centers. Everyone's trying to keep up with this tsunami who's coming in and taking over the world, not only our businesses, but our lives. And so it's very, very expensive. But here are some times when you would want to develop a solution in-house. And I'm going to read from some notes. I wrote a newsletter this week, and it was specifically about this topic. And so Andy Smith Life, if you want to jump over there. But let's talk about some pros and cons about building in-house. If you build in-house, you have a pro would be complete control over the solution. So perfect alignment with your needs. You can build exactly what you want. Oh, just give me a thumbs up. And you own the intellectual property that you're building. You could have a competitive advantage because of this in your industry or in your space when you build your own AI automation product or service or solution for your own business. Because that's the thing, right? Like you could build a product, a revenue stream for your business based on AI or an AI-enabled revenue stream. You could open up a new market through an AI-enabled solution, or you could save money, time, resources in your own business by implementing a solution internally. So a lot of ways you can think about doing this. Some of the con require significant upfront capital. It takes a lot of time to implement these solutions, and you're going to need a big old team. You're going to need to recruit, retain talent. You're going to need maintenance and development of all the systems. And a little bit of a weird one nowadays to say is you're going to risk technology outpacing you and your team's ability to do it. So by the time you hire, recruit, retain all that talent to build a solution based on today's technology, we wake up months, maybe hopefully not days, but months down the road, and the tools, technology have changed. And so it's tricky. It's an interesting one to navigate. But when you really want to do it, right? When you want to consider building your solution in-house, you want to make sure your AI needs are central to your competitive advantage. So if putting in that AI product, service, solution is significant to your competitive advantage, you may want to consider doing it in-house. You have highly specialized or unique requirements, just things that aren't readily available out on the open market. And you're going to have to bring in some subject matter experts to do this. You have access to proprietary data, so confidential data that you want to keep inside. We built our own CRM system. Now, there are CRM systems all over the market. We built our own for our own portfolio of companies to use. And we did that because then each company can retain its own data and customer data. And that's important to us. And so I know there are privacy. I know the other CRM systems probably do some of that, but we just felt comfortable doing that. So we built our own. That's a use case right now. And then 2 is, or 3, when you might want to do it, or 4, I don't even know. You've got the resources and the support for ongoing AI development. So why could we build our own CRM system internally? Because we are an AI automation education development platform. So we do that. Unisports does that. And that allows us to build our own solutions inside our own ventures, inside our own product companies, and for others. And so we are the third option where you partner with someone, but we could build our own solution because we were able to do that. And so that's the capabilities to have in-house to do that. Option number 2, you could go out and buy a solution. So we had a customer who was considering had a friction point in their business. It was taking them a ton of time. It was taking them a ton of manpower. It was taking them a ton of complexity and was causing them to make pretty big financial mistakes. And they needed an AI solution to speed that up, professionalize it, and get the accuracy way up. And so they came to us to help find a solution. So our first thought was to build one for them. But we realized there's already a pretty baller solution on the market right now that would solve their exact problem. In fact, probably a little more than their exact problem. And so we encourage them just to buy the solution online. And so when I say buy a solution, you're typically buying a seat or a license or a monthly subscription to a product, service, software as a service outfit who can come in and help you do that. So that's when you would want to buy, is when there's just something already readily available that you can easily plug into your business. And you may, this particular company still partnered with someone. That's a hybrid approach where they partnered with someone to help on the implementation of it. But we just went out and had them buy the solution or access to the solution online. And then we helped them implement it and get it running and train them and all of that. So that's a hybrid solution. But that company could very well have just went off, bought that solution and did it. And so look around. There are a ton of product companies, service companies being developed right now. We're doing that. We're seeing that in our studio. And they're typically built on like a large language model, which is like a ChatGPT or Genesis or all the ones you hear, Grok, all the ones you hear about today. And then they'll take a specialty, they'll put a facade, a face over it. They'll plug in a bunch of data, and then they'll build in some user interface. And these are the companies you're hearing out raising crazy cash, right? We raised $15 million to take our business to the next level in a Series A round. Basically, they have built a custom solution for a custom market. And I would encourage you too, if you're looking to buy a solution, look outside your market. So if you're a manufacturer, if you're an oil and gas company, if you're a home service company, and you're looking for something that would be applicable to lawyers or maybe healthcare, look over there in that industry vertical and see if somebody's already built a vertical solution for them that you could then take and implement in your market. All kinds of creative ways to find these solutions, find these tools, learn about them, implement them, and figure it out, right? One point about building your own, though, and I'm going to go back to point 1 for a second, which is build your own AI solution. I've heard countless times from founders, leaders, C-suite that they're using ChatGPT and they're AIing their business because of ChatGPT. Just be aware that ChatGPT is a large language model. I was reminded when I said large language model a minute ago, but large language model is what ChatGPT is. And that's one phase. That's a platform that is predicting and completing a required test. So it's read the entire internet. It's going out and whatever prompt you give it, it's predicting and finishing what you want to give it. So just know that that's what that is. Now you get the next level, which is an AI agent. So think Manus, and there's many others. We've been testing out Manus, and it's powerful. Does a lot. Takes a lot of time. Very, very interesting one. Some people get twisted up because that one's based out of China. So just know that. We're still using it because we're using it for internal stuff. And so and to be able to work on the business, right? And it's just been powerful and helpful and a great tool for us. But that's an AI agent. That's another level, right? And then you get more AI. But AI, true AI, is taking data, hopefully good data, because if it's bad data, it's going to get bad results. Taking data, analyzing and making real-time decisions based on data versus just a large language model. So ChatGPT, if you're engineers or ChatGPT folks, then just be aware that they're not really AI folks. They're just they're just prompt engineers, right? So just know the difference. But buying one, going back to number 2, buying your solution is a very viable option these days. Very interesting. I have felt guilty to the cut by 1,000 threads, which means you have bought so many software products that you're just forgetting about them and dying on monthly $19 charges all over the place. So be aware and be thoughtful and be mindful of what you're testing out, buying, trying, and make sure it's the right one. Now, the third option, so you could build your own. If you've got the team, the engineers, the capital, you could buy one if it's out on the market, whether that's through a subscription, a license, or whatever. 3, you could partner with someone. So the emergence of AI automation agencies started appearing on my radar in 2024. Some of them were launched a little bit earlier. I got really excited about it and found Unisupports and partnered up with Rice, the CEO, to launch Unisupports in the US market, and we're an AI automation agency. Now, what does an AI automation agency do? An AI automation agency comes into your business, looks for opportunities, right? These opportunities could be on 2 different sides of the coin. The revenue side, opportunities to increase your revenue or gain new market entrants. Those are ways that automation, AI, technology could help your business get new revenue or enter new markets. We look for that. The second thing is, how could I reduce my cost by operating more efficiently, reducing my human labor content, and moving faster? That's an internal way. So the external ways that we look at, or any AI automation agency looks at, is how do I make more revenue, money? How do I enter new markets, revenue? Conversely, how do I save more cost? How do I free up my human capital to do more? And how do I move faster as a business? So those are efficiency and effectiveness traits. We come into your business and we look for those. Where can we implement technology, AI, automation into your business? Then we select the right tools for you. Maybe we buy one, maybe we build one. Then we implement it, and then we train. So that's the difference in if you're going to build it internally, if you're going to buy it, or if you're going to partner with an agency to help you identify, select, build or buy, implement, and train. Those are the 5 pillars of an AI automation agency. Find your friction point, your opportunity, select, build or buy, implement, and train. You could probably put select and build or buy as one, but that's a critical step, decision mode in the process. So let's keep it as 2. Find the opportunity for revenue or cost savings, select the right one, choose to build it or buy it. We implement it and we train. That training thing is an interesting final piece of it. And so wherever you are in your business, step 1, keep an open mind to change, because right now the world is changing so fast. And if you want to scale your business in the future, I think automation, technology, AI is going to be a requirement, not even just a fun thing to have. And I don't care what kind of business you're in. If you think you've found one that doesn't need AI and automation, put it in the comments or DM me, because I'd love to learn and grow from that. And think about that, because maybe it'll open my mind up as that. But if you're looking to grow or scale into the future, AI is going to be a critical component. What it's doing is just bananas. And so we're learning every day in the different businesses. We've got a ton of use cases. If you're interested in just any of that stuff, love to have that conversation. I love this topic. I've been very curious for over a year now. Been building businesses for a long time, but really focused on AI the last 3, 4, 5 years, and tripled down on it the last year. And so it's a ton of fun. We're putting on some free seminars coming up in May. So if you're still here in this video, which very few people are, if you're still here, those are free. We can jump on there. And if you're still watching this, hit me up. Give me a like, a dislike, anything, a comment, just to let me know you're still here. I'd appreciate that. I enjoy making content. I enjoy talking about this stuff. I enjoy educating. And this gives me a platform to do that and to just help other entrepreneurs, founders, and leaders grow, scale, and maybe one day exit their business, because the foundation for growth, the foundation for business is to build for freedom. If we're building for freedom, we're finding freedom in our own lives. We're able to do things in our business, on our business, with our families, with our hobbies, on ourselves, and just live an infinite life, live a wonderful life that is full of adventure, fun, building, excitement, and I love that. So, friends, I thank you for being here. I thank you for being a part of my community. Thank you for joining my newsletter, Andy Smith Life, on LinkedIn if you have not done that. Comment, I'll hook you up. I do write about a lot of this stuff. I wrote about this topic this week. So thinking that's probably a way I need to start producing these videos is talk about the topic from the prior week, because I've already thought through, written, and sort of digested it. Now bring it to you in a different format. So anyway, appreciate you. Big fan of yours, and let's keep building together, friends. Dare to build.